guys, it's me, Jaleesa, back with another video. I am here to do a Blackathon TBR and my January wrap-up. I will do the Blackathon TBR first for those of you who care. I will follow it up with my wrap-up for those who care about that, but I figured I would get the TBR out of the way first because that's the most important. Blackathon is a readathon that's going on all this month. It is hosted by Bowties Books, Francine Simone, and Lauren from the Book Lush. I will link all their pages below. The Blackathon is a readathon that consists of different challenges. I don't think you have to do all of them, but my goal is to finish all of them. So if I keep looking down, it's because I'm trying to read what the challenges are without completely fucking them up, so bear with me. The first challenge is Feel the Love. Read a book of any genre featuring romance between two black people or one black person and a person of color. And for that challenge, I picked the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. I've never read this, but I heard that it has black characters that are in a polyamorous relationship, so that should cover it. I'm not really sure what this is about, actually. I've had it for a while, but I still don't really know what it's about. I know it's won a lot of awards, and apparently a lot of people like it. I'll give it a shot. Hopefully I finish it. The second challenge is Wakanda Forever. Read a graphic novel or comic series with a black or African main character. For that, I picked Kindred by Octavia Butler. I've had this for a while, and I've yet to read it. I've read Kindred, the novel, and I really loved it. I bought the graphic novel, and I'm hoping to get through it because it looks disturbing. It is disturbing. I already know it's disturbing. I've read the book. It's disturbing. The next challenge is Hear Us Many. It's to read a work by a black or African author. For this, I picked Barracoon, The Story of the Last Black Cargo by Zora Neale Hurston. To be honest, I don't know what this one's about too much either. I'm pretty sure she went and did an interview with one of the last people to be brought over on the slave ships. I think, I'm not 100% sure. I thought it looked intriguing. I've never read anything by Zora Neale Hurston, and I'm very ashamed of it, so I'm going to read this first. The next challenge is Feel the Beat. You are to listen to 4 poems that I will link, and share your favorite on social media or with a friend. Discuss what that poem means to you and why it matters. So there's 4 different poems for whoever, for me to go and listen to and see which one speaks to me the most, which, I mean, that sounds awesome. I'll do it. The next challenge is More Than Color. We house complexity within us. Read a book starring an intersectional black character, whether they be black, LGBT, black and neurodivergent, black and disabled, etc. And for that, I picked The Gilded Stories by Jewel Gomez. I'm not really, if I messed her name up, whoop. This one is about a black lesbian vampire who was born into slavery, and I think it goes throughout the times with her and her life. I've never read anything about black lesbian vampires, so like, this sounds cool as shit, so definitely gonna be reading this one. Let's see. The last challenge is In This Together. And for this challenge, we will be reading The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. If these books sound interesting to you and you want to read them or buddy read them, let me know. I mean, I'm open to doing that. I'm actually excited about this. I've never done a readathon, so I'm hoping that I don't completely mess it up. But we will see. And if I don't read them all, then it is what it is. I think that a couple of these books knock out 2 challenges with one, so if I don't finish one, then hopefully I read the other one and still have everything covered. Well, that is it for my Blackathon TBR. For those of you that only clicked this video for that, it's a wrap for you. Now that I've told you guys what I want to read for the Blackathon readathon, I will do my January wrap-up. I filmed a December wrap-up, but I got so lazy, you guys. Like, I didn't feel like editing it, and now I don't feel like editing it because it's February, and it is what it is. Whatever. You guys would have known that I filmed it if I hadn't told you so. For my January wrap up, I will talk about my least favorite books of the month to my favorite books of the month. It just seems easier for me to do it that way, so that's what I'm gonna do. The first book that I read and I gave 3 stars was Insatiable Wives by David J. Lee. This book is a historical look at the practice of cuckolding, which is when a wife strays from her marriage and has different sexual partners that are not her husband. Most of this is looking at different women throughout the times who've done this. It takes a look at why people would do this, couples that are into this kind of lifestyle where the husband is aware. It really just talks about that, and it goes into a lot of details. A lot of the details I did not care too much about. There were different, like, you know how they have case studies where you have to read about different situations or whatever. It's like, man, I don't care about these fictional couples or these real I don't know them. I mean, I guess it's a way for them to make it more relatable, but to me, after a while, having to read these just became so tiring. I still liked it, but it just got tedious after a while. I feel like if it was somebody that did not read into this beforehand, it would be fairly eye-opening. But for me, I like looking into relationships, different types of relationships, different types of lifestyle. So I knew some of this stuff, so it wasn't as new to me, so it wasn't as engaging as I was hoping it would be. So that is why it got 3 stars. But if it's something that you would think is interesting, then I definitely think you should pick it up. The second book that I read this month is Sword of Destiny by, I'm gonna mess this dude's name up, Andrzej Sapkowski. I don't know. This is the second prequel to the Witcher series. It's following Geralt of Rivia as he goes off and does his thing like he always does. This is actually set before the series technically starts. I don't want to say too much about like different characters introduced into this because somebody might actually want to read it. I gave this 3 stars as well, especially because the first one was way more interesting. And this one, there were a few times where I wanted to just stop reading this and it took me longer than I thought it would. So yeah, I got 3. I enjoyed it. I enjoy Geralt and Dandelion or Dandelion or whatever his name is. There were a couple other characters in here that are interesting. I think this was made to introduce characters that are in the series better, because I think in the series they're already just kind of there. You're supposed to expect to know who they are or whatever. So this was a good way to introduce them. I'm going to read the first book in the series now. The next book that I gave 3 stars is Kabbalah Vern by James Acevedo. This is the fourth book in the Expanse series. With this novel, we follow James Holden and his crew as they are sent to this planet that is newly founded by people from the Belt, as they are sent as mediators because these people are, I guess, technically squatting on this planet. And then the UN or Mars, I can't remember, they sent a crew to go and do science experiments on it. And so them and the people from the Belt are clashing, butting heads, because they both want to take over this planet. And it turns out that this planet is pretty fucked up and they should not want to be on this planet at all, but they're fighting over this planet. People are dying. Drama, and people are getting sick. I enjoyed this. It just was not as good as the first 2. I really enjoy Holden and his crew a lot. I grow to love them with each book. This book is from Holden's perspective, of course, also from the perspective of a man named Baja, and who is a Belter squatting on the planet, and LV, who is a member of the crew sent to do the science experiments on the planet. So we get a good look at the people there, the people that are telling them to leave, kind of, and then Holden, who's a mediator. But The next season of the show is coming out this year, and it's following this book, so I'm excited as fuck. I can't wait to see this unfold like on screen. I just love this show in general. So if you've never seen The Expanse, watch The Expanse. The next 3 books that I'm going to talk about were ones that I gave 4 stars to, so I enjoyed them a bit more than the previous batch. The first one that I'm going to list is Oh My Gods by Alexandra Shepard. This is a new book. I'm assuming it's a middle grade or young adult. It's scholastic. This is about Helen, whose mom passes away, and she goes to live with her father Zeus and her sister Aphrodite, and there are other relatives that pop up in there like Eros and Apollo and Athena. But it's basically her trying to be a teenager and go through life with family who are Greek gods. She herself is not a god. She has no powers or anything like that. So it's basically her going through life, trying to meet boys, trying to just exist as a teenager. It's fun. This book is funny. It's really cute. There are these letters that she writes to her mom that like break my heart. But no, I thought this was really, really fun, really, really cute. If you have a teenager or maybe a middle schooler that's interested in Greek mythology, definitely recommend this to them. If you're an adult and you like Greek mythology or you just want something cute and feel good, I would say pick this one up. The next book that I'm going to talk about is The Laughing Corpse by Laurel Hamilton, book 2 of the Anita Blake saga series. In this one, Anita Blake is propositioned to raise a 300-year-old mummy for some rich crazy dude, and she turns him down, and he doesn't like that. It's her having to deal with this guy not taking no for an answer basically, and her having to deal with a voodoo priestess who doesn't like her very much, as well as her having to try to find out who is killing people. There are people being murdered and cut up into pieces, and it's really disgusting. I really enjoy the writing. I enjoy the humor in these books. I also enjoy the character of Anita Blake. I think she's pretty badass and level-headed, and yeah, I have a good time with her. So I'm going to continue to go on with this and see how that goes. I'm waiting on her to get together with this vampire, but they're not giving that to me yet, so apparently I have to continue this series to get what I want, but they've already set this up, and so now I'm just like, come on y'all, like, do it. The next book that I want to talk about is The Ballad of Black Tom. It is about a guy named Charles Tester, who is basically a hustler who does different tricks and to get money out of rich people, and it's about him and his dad living in New York. He goes and he finds this historical book, and he gives it to this old magical lady, and it's basically the story of what happens after that. It's a strange book. I don't really even know how to describe it without giving a whole lot away. The writing is fantastic. Victor Lavelle has a really engaging writing style. This is my first book of his that I've ever read, and I really want to read more. I know he wrote The Changeling. That's a book I've been really wanting to get to. But there's some Lovecraftian elements in this. There's time travel, magic. It's a weird ride, but it was a great ride. It's a short book. It's like 150 pages. It's less than 200 pages. He puts a lot into those 150 pages, and it's very engaging. I finished in one sitting. It had me hooked. And the last book I'm going to talk about is Allegedly by Tiffany Jackson. This follows a girl, Mary, who is 16 years old. She is in a juvenile halfway house or prison because she was arrested when she was 9 years old for the murder of a baby, and she never said she did it. She never said she didn't do it. Somehow she ended up going to jail, and this is about her and her relationship with her mother and dealing with people accusing her of killing this child while Mary ends up getting pregnant. So it's about her trying to figure out how to get out of prison and care for her baby. This book was one of the few books that I can say really did throw me for a loop. The ending was not expected. I thought it was gonna go one way, and it went totally the other way, and it left me very, very confused as to what happened. I mean, I know what happened, but it's still, I guess it's me trying to figure out how I let this book confuse the shit out of me. This book was my only 5-star. I did enjoy Mary. I did enjoy all the other girls that are in the home with her. Her mom is what a character she is. And overall, I like the writing style. I like the pacing. The plot was nice. And the twist was really good too. If you're interested in a good little mystery, then I would recommend you pick this one up. I had a lot of fun with it. So if you sat through all of this, I would like to thank you. If you have read any of these books that I've talked about, whether it be the TBR or the wrap-up, if you haven't read any of these books and you want to, let me know. And as always, thank you for watching. Bye.